at the Public Safety Center? Raise your hand. Wow. Well, welcome to the new McFarland Public Safety Center. It's pretty snazzy, isn't it? Yeah. So thank you for pivoting today to this new location. If you drove by the McFarland Municipal Center, you might understand why we had to change the location, because there is a carnival in our parking lot right now for the McFarland Community Festival. So thank you so much for rolling with it for us to have this here today, and thank you for the fire department and police for allowing us to use this space. I want to give you a few announcements of upcoming things that we have going on. So Medicare Part D open enrollment happens starting in October. So it's October 15th through December 7th. So if you have a Medicare Part D plan, D as in drug plan, we encourage you to look at that every single year during open enrollment. So every year, the formularies, which means what drugs they cover per company, can change, the co-pays, the premiums, all sorts of things can change. And you should be notified about that if they are changing. But it's always a good idea to just check and see what's out there, and maybe there would be a better deal for you that would save you some money and give you better coverage. Now, if you don't have a Medicare Part D plan, because let's say you have a supplement or something like that, you don't really have to worry about it. But if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, it's also time to be able to look into that and see if there might be better coverage for you. So Sarah, the other case manager, and myself are both SHIP counselors. That stands for State Health Insurance Program, and we are both certified counselors for that. So we would be able to help you do a search in an unbiased way. We don't work for any insurance companies, so we're not going to tell you to enroll in a certain plan. So if you would like to schedule an appointment for that, we do kind of book up in those appointments. So give us a call at Senior Outreach, and we'll get you in to do some plan searches. Also, I wanted to let you know that we have Senior Film Friday coming up, but it's not on Friday, it's on Thursday, because it's a special Halloween film day. And we are going to be seeing a mystery film called Clue, the movie. If you've ever played the board game Clue, it's based on that. So it is going to be on Halloween, so we encourage people to come in costume if you would like. And we will have all sorts of tricks and treats for you beyond just the film. So I hope you can attend that. That is limited seating, and we do ask that you call in advance and make a reservation. So beyond that, I am going to pass it over to our presenter. Rebecca is presenting today from Access to Independence. I'm going to let her share a little bit more about that. And I'm sorry, I'm screaming what's your name? It's Shirley, also from Access to Independence. So let's give them a nice round of applause and welcome them.
Hey everyone, sorry it was a little chaotic coming in here. It was just one of those mornings. So a couple of things. Obviously got the PowerPoint up here. Feel free to ask questions as I go along. The one thing is that I have low vision, so if you raise your hand, I'm not gonna see you. So just belt it out. I can repeat the question to anyone out there who might not be able to hear. So anyway, as you can see, whoa, it's all very blurry. So if you're wondering who we are, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of an independent living center before. Access to Independence is one of 8 centers around Wisconsin. The other thing, we serve Dane, Dodge, Columbia, and Greene counties. The other Sullivan centers cover Wisconsin, so every county is served. We do have we all have certain core services that we follow, but every one of us is a little bit unique in terms of what we do and what we offer. The other thing is that every state, every county around the US is covered by an independent living center. And again, they all have the same core services. I'll get to that in a minute. So if you've got friends or relatives, or you happen to move to New York or whatever, you can find an independent living center that would help you out. The other thing is that we are the majority of our staff, board members, volunteers have disabilities. And so we always make sure that over 50% of the people have disabilities, so we know what it is to live life and face the challenges. So go ahead, Shirley. There we go. So you might wonder, what's the definition of a disability? People kind of have all their definitions. If you call Social Security, they're going to tell you one thing. Your doctor's going to tell you another thing. We don't care. If you say to us you have a disability, well, then you have a disability. As long as you can help describe it a little bit, then we should be able to help you. But we do not discriminate. And it's also fine if you're calling for a family member or a friend. So it doesn't just have to be you calling. But as long as you can say, I have a disability. That might be also because you're sick with something. You know, I'm working with someone who has advanced cancer, so I've been helping her out. She didn't have a disability before the cancer, but now she's facing all kind of difficult issues. So, all right. So there is a lot of things. This is super blurry, sorry. It's too close. There are, like I was saying before, we've got core services that we cover. So we have, so we cover the assistive technology. We can help you with transportation. We can help you with housing, funding for different kinds of, if you need assistive technology, if you're looking for funding for houses, anything like that, we can help. The one thing I do want to say is we do not have housing, and we don't have any specific connections to housing. So, you know, we can't call an apartment and say, hey, Susie, you know, I got someone here who's looking for housing. Can you get them in? We don't have that. People seem to think, oh, they have housing services. Well, yes, we can help you. We can help you fill out applications. We can help you search, help you figure out what you need. That we can do. We're happy to help with that. All right, Charlie, I'm going to flip it. Maybe. Is it flipping? Yeah, sorry. Right. So we have, the one thing that we like to do is, and this is related to the fact that we have a majority of people working for us and with us that have disabilities. So one thing we really want to make sure we do is provide peer support. So that if you call in or your friend calls in and says, I don't know what to do, I got a disability. Well, chances are either we can talk to you or find someone else who has a similar situation who can relate to you and say, yeah, I know what that's like. I've done that too. And so we just feel that that's incredibly important because it's scary and you don't know what to do. You're lost. It's just, it helps to be able to identify with someone who's able to say, yes, that, me too. Yep. All right. All right. So the other thing we do is we like to provide skills training, because sometimes when you have a disability, there are certain skills that you either feel like you can't do, or since it's a recent disability, you've lost the ability to do that. So we like to teach skills, whether that's teaching a skill for the first time or whether that is helping you adapt. For example, sometimes we have people come in, maybe they're autistic and they've never done any cooking before. So we can work with that person on helping them learn to cook. Or maybe we have someone come in who lost a hand and they're going, well, I can't cook now. You know, I don't have the hands. Well, maybe there's something that we can do to help. There's technology, there's support out there that can help. So cooking isn't just one of them, but we like to help. We like to teach skills. We like to have people learn how to do things for themselves. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna switch here. The other thing that we like to make sure to do is to help people stay in their own environments. We don't want people to have a disability and suddenly be shipped off to a nursing home where they're out of their environment, they're away from the people that they love, they care about. Maybe they're not treated very well. So we like to make sure we provide that transition either out of a nursing home, or we can help people provide the services they need so that they do not transfer into a nursing home. That also includes youth transition, because we've got kids who are maybe transferring out of school into their own lives, and they've had all these services before, and now suddenly they're 18 and they're going, what am I supposed to do? And their parents are going, oh my gosh, what are we supposed to do? So we help transition them out of school, help them learn the skills, maybe help them just figure out how to sort out their lives. Sorry, the light keeps getting in my eyes. Another thing that we do that is a lot of what we do is advocacy. People with disabilities, sometimes they're told that, oh, hey, you can't do that. No, you're not allowed to do that. And so we are able to help. We can stand up for someone and say, hey, the bus driver, they have to let you on the bus. It's illegal, and here are the laws. And here, let's refer you to the disability rights services person at Madison Metro, or there's all kind of advocacy. We've do a lot of housing advocacy too. We've got landlords saying, no, you can't do that in your apartment. And so we can help ease that and figure out what to do and just provide that support. All right. Sorry. Is everyone okay? Any questions so far? No? We're all good? Oh, no, we do not have any fees. Everything we do is free.
Is it government funded?
We are a nonprofit. We do get some government funding. It's been in, let's see, the independent living centers have been receiving different kinds of government funding since the early 80s. Last time they increased our funding, unfortunately, was in 1991. Yeah. So we've been trying to advocate for ourselves to get more government assistance as people's needs go up. So yeah, our services are all free. Sometimes if people are in long-term care, that long-term care can help them pay for things. But that's, no, we do not turn anyone away. So I guess that's a good thing. Did we miss a slide, Shirley? Did we miss a slide?
No, accessibility.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I think I had another slide in there originally. So the other thing that we want to make sure that things are accessible to people. Sometimes people just think, oh, accessibility means they can get up the stairs or get up the ramp, but that doesn't necessarily, that's not just the only thing for accessibility. Accessibility means that the organization that you work for says, hey, we don't know what to do. You can't do this because of your disability. Well, bummer. And we can work in and try to figure out, okay, what is it that you need to help make things accessible for you? What do we have in the list? Yeah, okay. So one program that we offer that is actually through the state is the WIS loan program. And that is to help people pay for assistive technology. And that could be anything from buying an accessible van to maybe buying a new computer, anything that you would need that's technology related that you need help paying for. I just helped somebody get a new driveway a couple months ago. I'm working with somebody who needs to get a couple of hospital beds. It is a loan program, so that's a big thing. It's not a grant. You're not just handed the money. You do have to pay it back. You're required. It just comes through a regular bank. But there is a committee that makes the decisions. The people on the committee, over 50% of them have disabilities. And so they can help say, hey, well, maybe we could do it this way, or maybe we can reorganize it this way. And that can sometimes help. But they do look at like your credit history, your ability to pay the loan back. So I have a lot of people who have a hard time understanding that it's not a grant. So, all right, so the biggest thing that we've got going on, and you guys were really interested in the assistive technology, and we have a huge loan closet. These are some of the things that I brought in, and once I'm done with this, you guys can come up and look at this. One of the things that we focus on is communications. So like, as you can see in the background here, there's lots of phones and different kinds of equipment. Like there's some ringer amplifiers. And so this is a room and a program that we have that people can come in. Again, it's all free. You can borrow all this as much as you want. So go ahead. All right. Yeah. So people wonder, okay, what's assistive technology? People think, oh, it's just a wheelchair. It's just a walker. Well, you can see up here, you see any wheelchairs? See any walkers? Granted, we have a ton of those to loan out. We got wheelchairs, we got walkers, canes. We even loan out ramps for people who, a lot of times people need the wheelchairs. They're coming out of the hospital. They need to be able to get home. We loan out a lot of wheelchairs at graduation time because students are graduating and they got family members coming in and they can't walk around. And so pretty much all our wheelchairs are cleaned out during graduation because everybody and their brother and their mother needs wheelchairs. We also do that with ramps. So we have, the longest ramp that we have is a 10-foot ramp that we can loan out. Ramps get kind of tricky because they get steep fast. So if you're needing a ramp, it's best. Lots of times I ask people to send picters so I can look at their steps. We can talk about whether or not you're gonna go flying down the ramp because you don't wanna do that. I was doing with my daughter one day and she zoomed across a parking lot and almost hit a parked car. So, which is very funny. We all thought it was funny, but it was the person who had the car, I don't think, thought it was very funny. So there's all kinds, as I was saying, lots of different technology. You can see right here, this is only one of the things that can help you take medications. We all know one of the biggest things in life right now is you got a lot of medications to take. They can happen at different times, different medications on different days, and half the time you forget to take your meds and then you're going, oh no. So this is one of the things that is available. They attach to the top of regular pill bottles, helps you set alarms. I do have another couple of different pill reminders up here. This is a service that you have to pay for. We can show it to people, but we can't, that's not something we can loan out. That's a service they have to pay for, unfortunately. All right. The other thing we know, there's sometimes people have trouble, they can't speak very loudly. You don't walk around with a microphone all the time. But this is a voice amplifier that you can carry around. Sometimes if you don't have enough lung capacity, you can't project your voice. So this is something you can carry it around, you can hook it up to a phone, and it helps you speak loudly enough, amplify your voice. So this is one of my personal favorites, and I'm kind of a low-tech person. As you can see, when I got this microphone, I couldn't figure out how to use it. So this has been around, it's been in our loan closet since I think we got it in 2000. It was brand new when I first started working there. But basically, what you use, you have this, you can hang it next to your door, next to your bed, and you can stick these little discs to various things that you might, your phone, your remote controls, whatever it is that you tend to lose. And so when you press the button on that big remote, one of these things will go off. And so you hit the yellow button and the yellow disc will go off. The nice thing about it is that if you find the thing that's got the yellow disc on it, you can press that button and it will also start beeping the other items that you've got. So I like that a lot. All right, this is a weighted pen. A lot of people, as they get older or even as they're younger, their hands aren't working properly and it's too hard to hold a pen or a pencil. This is something, and again, this is an old thing. I think the one that we have in our loan closet probably got there in about 1970. So they've been hanging around for a while. They have different weights, but basically you slide a pen or a pencil in it and it's a heavy weight. So if your hand is shaking, it just gives you that extra amount of weight. We also have different kinds of, there's a couple different objects up here that allow you to hold the pens or pencils in different ways so that your hand supports the weight of the pen or pencil. So again, that's something I've got up here that you guys can see. This I also have up here is an electric can opener, which is really nice because you hook the thing on the can and you're trying to turn it and it's not happening. You can't move your wrist properly. It's just a stubborn can. So this thing you set down over the can and hit the button and it just, and there's your can. It's nice and open. And so that's another good thing. Good? Yeah. All right. So this is another one that's got a comfortable grip. It lets you, basically you can hold on to things much easier. It doesn't hurt your hands. It doesn't slip out of your hands. So that works well. You can flip it. All right. So this one, again, is also one of my favorites. This is called a bed shaker. You hook it up to an alarm clock, and when the alarm goes off, and this is if you can't hear the alarm, or maybe you just want the sound on silent, and this thing you can put it under your pillow or you can put it under your mattress, and it shakes, and it's violent. People think like, oh, I'm going to put this under my mattress and it's going to shake. Yeah, right. I'm not going to feel that. Well, trust me, you will feel it. I was showing it to a couple weeks ago, and they were pretty skeptical. And I set something on top of it and I made it shake. And it was a measuring cup, I think. And the thing went flying across the room, hit the ceiling. And the poor guy was just kind of like, oh. And I said, see, I told you, it's gonna wake you up. And so they brought it home, tried it. That was specific. His wife is getting dementia and she's starting to fall and he can't hear. So when she presses the alert button, he couldn't hear it. Well, we connected that bracelet to the bed shaker. She falls and his bed shakes and wakes him up. So that was great. And again, that's part of, you got to be creative, and because she can yell and scream all she wants when she falls, or maybe she hits her head, but now he wakes up. Any questions so far? This is a leg lifter, and I've got one of those here as well. It can help you if you've got stiff hips or just difficulty lifting your leg. You hook your foot into it and you just pull it and your leg goes up on the bed or onto the chair or whatever it is. And it's got enough leverage in it that it's not hard to do. You think like, oh, I don't have the strength to lift my whole leg. Well, it actually is pretty easy. And they come in different lengths. The one here is actually more flexible. I've got another one that's very stiff. So it's kind of your preference of what you need. All right, the other thing we have is landline phones, and they're becoming less and less popular, as we all know, but we have a ton of them. And phones are one of those things that as you get older, you have a different kind of disability, you can't use the phone anymore. The buttons are too small, or it's too hard to hold the receiver, you forget the number. What are you supposed to do? So this particular phone, as you can see, it has really big numbers on it and big keys. So that can be very helpful if you can't see, if you're having trouble hitting little teeny buttons. As I said, this is a landline phone, and we do still have a lot of people coming in and they want to borrow the landline phone, so don't get me wrong. A lot of people still use them. We have trouble sometimes with our newer, younger employees, and I take them to see the wall of phones, and they're going, well, where's the list of phone numbers? And I'm going, phone numbers? What are you talking about? Well, they think of each one that has its own phone number, just like a cell phone. And I said, no, you plugged it into the wall and one phone number, and it will make it doesn't matter which phone. So that just kind of blew my mind. And so go ahead. This is another landline phone, and it's got pictures in it. So if you have somebody who can't remember the phone numbers, or maybe they can remember a face but they don't remember the name, so this, you can put little pictures in there. So it, all the person has to do is look at the picture and hit the button, and it's going to call whoever is in that picture. So that can be super helpful. These days, your cell phone can do that for you too. Cell phones are incredibly accessible. There's tons of settings on your phones. If anyone has any questions, I can show you. The accessibility features on the cell phones these days are amazing. They can be a little tricky, especially if you're working with someone maybe doesn't remember things. You can put all the accessibility settings you want to on the cell phone, but then they just start poking at the screen. But one thing I figured out is that if you use the lockdown apps, like you might do for a kid, it locks down the phone, and no matter how many buttons that person, how many touches that person makes, they can't change the settings on the phone, which can be very, very helpful. And I just kind of figured that out. I was dealing with my daughter who was using her phone at 1 a.m. and we had to lock her phone down. And then I was in the office talking to somebody, and she's constantly pushing on her phone. And I said, wait a minute, we'll just lock it down. Now she can't do anything but call. So this, you can, and I liked it. The other thing about assistive technology is you can be creative with it. So maybe it's meant for one thing, but yet you're able to use it for another. Like this is just, you can use that for any lever, as long as you can fit whatever you need, whether it's a shoe, and you hook it in, and it gives you the leverage to be able to pull it, or turn it. So this is an amplifier. It works for cell phones. It helps amplify the sound when a cell phone rings. That can be really great because sometimes you can turn up, your phones go pretty loud, but this thing, it sounds like a fire alarm. And some people, they can't hear, and that's what they need. They need the fire alarm to go off and know that their cell phone is ringing. And I actually have one here today, and it's free, so if somebody wants to come up and snatch it, you're welcome to do that. Just don't fight. We actually have a lot of them at the office that are free. So, if you feel you really need it and someone gets it, then stop by. All right, so the other thing, as I was pointing out before, is we do loan out walkers and canes and wheelchairs. I've got a couple different canes up here. This is a walker that a lot of people don't know exists. And as you can see, you unfold it, and it's a pretty good standard size walker. Well, a lot of those walkers, you fold them up, it's still hard to lift them. They're still bulky. You get the legs caught on things. This one folds up and folds into a bag, like an umbrella. So, and I think it weighs about a pound. once it's folded up. So it's very easy to carry. It's very nice. You can even, carry it like just over your shoulder. This is another kind of cane. It's called a quad cane. So it stands up on its own. Lots of the canes, and your cane falls over, and then you're going, well, great, my cane fell over. What am I supposed to do? So there are different kinds of quad canes. This was kind of the original type, and now they've gotten better, so they don't end up with the big wide base, because I think people were accidentally getting their feet caught in it and making the cane fall and then themselves fall. So they're getting better with those, but they do have different types. All right. Does anyone have any questions? No? So there are different ways to get a hold of us. We've got a website. You can always call us. We've got email. I have brochures up here, so if anyone wants to take a brochure, that's fine too.
Rebecca, I have a question.
Sure.
So before you
We usually say 3 weeks, but we can extend it unless somebody else is on the waiting list. That happens most with wheelchairs. So, I say, oh yeah, you can borrow this for 3 weeks. And if no one else is waiting for it, well, then you can keep it longer if you need to. Or sometimes if you're borrowing it, we do have people who call, they want to give a wheelchair away. And so then sometimes I'm able to call you and say, hey, this person donated this wheelchair. Do you want it? It's yours now. So yeah, we can be flexible, and sometimes, there have been times I just gave somebody, she came in to borrow, she was unable to hit the keys on her keyboard for the computer anymore, and we had a guard that fit over the keyboard so that she could only hit one key at a time with her fingers. And I looked, and that particular key guard was for an older keyboard, and I looked in our loan system, it had not been borrowed for 15 years. So I said, you know what, it's yours. Get it off my shelf. Because I'm tired of moving it around, and now you can play with it. So there are times when definitely if someone comes in and they want to borrow something, and you see, wow, that hasn't gone out in a while, or for some reason we have 4 of them. So yeah, we sometimes are able to just hand it off to you.
And a follow-up question to that. So
Sure.
if someone wants to try out one of those cones and decide they really like it, they want one, would you be able to help facilitate them obtaining one of their own?
Yes, and there's a brochure up there. There is a program that it's a TEP program, and that we help fill out the application for a TEP program, but then that goes through the state, and then you get a certain amount of money that you can use to whether you need to buy a phone or a ringer. They can also help people buy cell phones. They'll help people buy anything that has to do with long distance communication. And that doesn't just have to be a phone. Like, we have had people come in and they can't use a phone. The only thing that they can use to communicate is a tablet. Well, they can help pay for a tablet because of the fact that person needs that for communication far away. So if you think about it like, okay, I can't get a tablet just to play on, it has to be specifically, to talk to Uncle Jared or whatever. But yes, you can buy whatever you want through that program. It's also amazing what you can get on Amazon these days. I found, I don't remember, maybe Shirley, it was you I was talking to the other day who bought a coffin on Amazon, which totally freaked me out. And why you'd look on Amazon for a coffin is beyond me, but hey, does it come overnight? I don't know, collapsible. So either way, it just creeped me out thinking about buying a coffin on Amazon. But hey, So yeah, lots of times we do have stuff in the clone closet that they're going, well, where am I supposed to get this? And I say, well, let's check Amazon. And so yes, that is, there are programs.
Also accept donations.
We do?
Yes.
Oh, sure. We're always, we do, as far as the assistive technology goes, we do have to get kind of picky because we have very limited storage, and we need it to be something that people are going to want to borrow. Lots of people call and they're saying, oh, we have a lot of, boxes of adult diapers or air casts, and we can't take that stuff. We do have a list of places that we can refer you that will take that stuff, but we don't. The other thing that we don't take is any kind of toileting. So like the collapsible toilets. We also don't take shower chairs, just for that, because one, they're big, and two, because it's a cleanliness issue. But again, there are other places that will take those.
I had seen on there that there was kitchen utensils, and I'm cleaning out my kitchen right now. So is there a list of donations that you're accepting?
With something like that, it's best to call.
Okay.
Just because then we can we don't want to take just basic kitchen utensils. We want it to be something that is going to be some kind of assistive technology. We do have a kitchen in the office, and it's fully accessible. So there's a stove that you can roll up underneath. You can roll up underneath a sink. The cabinets have special knobs on them, things like that. And we have, people can come into there if they're looking to remodel their kitchen or something like that, and they're looking to figure out how to make it accessible, then they can come into the office. And we have all kinds of different cooking utensils, but I can't just randomly take stuff.
Do you have a list of contractors who would be able to do like home modification work if you are needing like a accessible bathroom?
Yes, we do. We can hand out, we've got a list of contractors. The other thing we have, and this is kind of a new thing, is we have people who will come to your house or business and assess it for accessibility, and then also help provide you with ideas to make it accessible. So say you have a bathroom and you're going, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do to make this accessible? And one of us will come in, take the measurements, and then talk to you about, okay, here's what kind of tub might help, and here's how we could get it in there. And we're also doing that now for commercial buildings. So we just started working with downtown Madison. And so a limited number of businesses in downtown Madison are going to get assessments for free. And so that's a big deal. People tend to, they make their building accessible, and then they learn later that it is not actually accessible. They got a contractor who didn't know what they were doing. Another piece of that, I felt bad. I live in Wanakee, and I was doing a presentation there, and it was the American Legion building, and they had just put in this ramp, and they were so proud of it. Look at this ramp, it's so beautiful. And I'm looking at it, and I can look at a ramp and just right away say, well, that's way too steep. And I thought, I don't want to say that to this guy, he's so proud. And this is again where my daughter came in. She's a little bit of a daredevil, and so she had been showing people how to use wheelchairs, and I said, try and push yourself up this ramp. And she's got arms of steel. She does gymnastics, and she's been hanging off things since she was a baby. And so she's trying to push herself up the ramp. And she's like, Mom, I'm stuck. I'm really stuck. And so I'm reaching for her to help push her up the ramp, and it just let go. And the wheelchair went flying down the ramp backward. And the guy at the American Legion is sort of going, And so at least then it wasn't me going, you screwed up, dude. At least he was able to see it. It drives my husband and my daughter nuts, because every time I walk into a building, I start whining, oh, that door's too narrow, and oh, that counter's too high. And it's like, would you shut up? I can't help it. I just see it. Any other questions?
Just walk into the Milwaukee Street
store or office, or do you call and make an appointment?
No, you can walk in. It can be helpful to call first because we're all busy and we're all doing stuff. We do get walk-ins, so don't get me wrong. It's fine to walk in, but sometimes it is better to call, just because then we might be able to help you, and we're not running out of our offices trying to deal with something. So it can be very helpful to call first. But I'm not saying don't come on over. Anything else?
For these assessments, you mentioned they're free for the downtown Madison businesses. Are they free for residents? Residential?
Yes, we do. They are free for residents. If somebody's on long-term care, like they're with My Choice or Iris, then My Choice or Iris or Community Health, they'll pay for that assessment, and then be able to pay for some of the remodeling. But we will, like if one of you calls us and says, I don't know what to do, my house isn't accessible, what am I supposed to do? We'll do it for free. We'll come in, look at it, take measurements, recommend different things, and help walk you through that process of doing a remodel. Or maybe it's not a full remodel, maybe it's just, hey, you can get this new tub in there. Or so, and that's something we like to do. We like to help people figure out how to solve problems. Anything else? No?
A couple of your phones have shown hearing aid compatible.
So some of the lower tech phones are just regular phones. There are like the two phones on there, those were not hearing aid compatible. But they do have phones that if you have a hearing aid, it's sort of like the way Bluetooth works. So that hearing aid can connect with the phone. And it's like I said, it's like Bluetooth. Most of those phones, you can also turn them up very loud. And so somebody with average hearing, their ears will be blown out. But if you already have trouble hearing, well, now you can hear over the phone. And so that's great. And that works. A lot of those landline phones right now, we have 2 of each phone. So sometimes, if anyone needs a landline phone, feel free to give us a call. I might be able to get it for you for free. So, because like I said, we just don't have a lot of rushes for landline phones anymore. Sorry, what? Okay. So I do have some of the AT up here. I also got brochures. I can show a little bit of this off. This right here, and again, I encourage you once I'm done, you guys can come up and pick up this stuff. This is a very high-tech medication reminder, and it works very well for somebody who has very significant memory loss, and it's to the point where they just kind of open bottles and take stuff. This one, it has an alarm system, so you can stock it with the meds for each time of day, and the alarm will go off, and then the little compartment will open, so that person won't just be able to take meds at random whenever they want. The other thing, these are reachers. There are tons of different kinds of reachers, different lengths. They have different ends. They can be very helpful for picking stuff up off the floor. Grabbing somebody's nose if you're feeling ambitious or angry. You can use them for getting stuff off shelves, but you got to be pretty skilled for that and have just the right, we've got one in the office that's got really strong suction cups on it. And so that it's pretty good for getting some off a shelf, but I have used one before and dropped it on my head, so. This one doesn't. They do have reachers that do extend. We've got one, I think, that extends to about this long. You don't want it to get too far because they're just too hard to maneuver. But yeah, it's about, the longest one I think we have is about this long. So this is something that a lot of people like to use. It's called a pocket talker. This is a pretty low tech one. It's got regular headphones, just like they've been forever. You put it over your ears. It's got a microphone. And so it works very well if you're interacting with somebody and you have a very hard time hearing. You put this over your ears. There's a microphone so the person can hold it up. You turn it on and it just connects right to your ears. They do have higher tech ones that work with a hearing aid, or ones that have Bluetooth. This just happens to be really simple, basic.
But the magnifier is pocket. He fell asleep and started snoring.
You really thought there was a freight train. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before. This one is a video magnifier. It's really, really nice. It's really simple. So if you're having trouble reading paper or just putting you can put something under it and it enlarges it. And they're all different kinds. This is nice because it's easy to carry. They have ones that are smaller than this. It doesn't work for a whole page. It just works for parts of a page, but you can hold it like this and scroll across the page and get the lines. It's nice to have like for menus in the restaurants. So that can be, those are really nice. They have all different kinds. This one again is a low-tech one. We've got one that switches all different colors, so you can switch it from yellow to black to purple, whatever, so you can see it better. Let's see. This is a giant deck of cards. Who's for 52 card pickup? No cheating. Yeah, right. Sorry, yeah, right. I know I can't shuffle these to save my life. I'm a pretty good card shuffler, but these are a whole different issue. But it can be nice, I'll pull one out so y'all can see it. I don't know, it's big. So if you're working with somebody, playing with somebody who has a hard time seeing cards, this may be a big help. You might need something to help you hold the cards, which, we do have a really nice low-tech device that you can put the cards into so you don't have to squeeze it with your fingers. So, but, for those late night games without your glasses. What? Yeah, you go with the grabber. Right. Then at least you can see them and you're holding them this far away from your face. These are one of my absolute personal favorites. And these are called bone conduction headphones. They were originally designed for people who do sports, like they run in public, they walk in public, because you don't have your ears covered. You put them on like this and it goes through the bones in your head. So if you have trouble hearing, it goes through the bones in your head, and so it totally bypasses your ears. It works.
That's what they mean by bone.
Yes, yes, and they're great. And I actually have a pair because I can listen to I'm an audiobook addict, and I can listen to my audiobooks, and then my husband or my daughter yells at me and I can still hear what they're yelling. Maybe that's bad, but it's also nice. I like to walk, and to have those, then I know what's going on around me. We had a woman come in and her hearing aids weren't working. She wasn't sure what to do. She couldn't hear anybody anymore. She was getting on the list for a cochlear implant. So we thought, let's just try these. So we put them on and it worked. Bypassed ears, she could hear again, right through the bones in her head. And of course, the first thing she wanted to do was call her daughter. And she heard her grandson for the first time. And all of us were just breaking up. All of us were just sobbing because she's sobbing, and something so easy. And I think you can get a really cheap pair of these on Amazon for like $10. Yeah, I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get really expensive pairs for like $350, but so anyway, you guys, like I said, kind of come up. You can explore. Shirley and I can answer questions, and take the canes for a spin if you want. Please don't take each other's knees out. This one is a really nice, strong cane. You can use it. It's really nice for standing up because it's not. Oh, yeah, sure. It will tip. So, but if you, yeah, it's so, but if you're getting up from the, from a chair or the couch or something like that, you can use it to do that. So I wouldn't recommend it for a bathtub. There are tub rails that will clamp onto the side of the bathtub that may be more effective. This is what they call a strong arm cane. I'll hold it up so y'all can see it. I know it looks like some sort of weird torture device, but it allows you to wrap it around your arm like this, and so it takes all the strain and pain off. It's kind of on its low side because I was using it to play with it earlier, so I'm not the tallest of people, but it does adjust. But it takes, you can use it pulls on your forearm, so you're not just weighing on your shoulders like you do with a cane. Yes. Yep. I'm just left-handed, so I tend to just grab with my left hand. But yes, see, it works in either arm, no problem. It also does stand up on its own. This is not a great quad cane. You can kick it over, but it does stand up on its own. We are right across the street from Woodman's. So yeah, right across from Woodman's, right next to the post office. And there's it's a small building with a big sign on the top that says access. So we're not mixed into another building or anything like that, which is kind of nice.
Well, Rebecca, I want to thank you for your time here. Thank you so much. And she'll be here and would be able to explain any of these products. I really encourage you to come up and take a look at them all. And if you have any other questions, I'm sure she'd be happy to answer you. And Angie, yes, Shirley. I'm sorry, Shirley.
I don't know. We could change your name.
Shirley. Feel free to come up. Thank you so much for coming today. And thank you again to our presenters. This was lovely and so much resources. This is fabulous. So, thank you.